In a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined in studio by a very talented young wrestler in her own right. She was, as of very recently, a member of the WWE roster, a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, breakout star in 2020, was a member of the main roster for quite some time, had been through her ups and downs as well, but very recently did not have her contract renewed by WWE, and now she has become the Indy goddess. And what do I mean by that? Now she is everywhere. A similar, to a degree, story, the one that we had last week with Cora Jade, but she was obviously on the main roster and in the game for a lot longer, and now she is doing some massive things for the likes of GCW, MLW, and many others. Another fascinating individual who I'm looking forward to chatting with right here in studio. Without further ado, let us say hello to the Indie goddess herself, the one and only Shotzi Blackheart is here. Hello, Shotzi.
Wow, oh my goodness.
Wow, nice to meet you. Are we hugging?
So
Okay, what are we doing?
Yes,
Okay.
I love a hug. And I have a gift for you.
Oh my dear, this is amazing. Wow.
Your very own Shotzi Funko.
I love it. I love it. Can you get that in the shot? There?
I see that you
Is
love
it
the
there?
toys,
I do
so
love the toys.
I
do
also.
love the toys. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah,
and you
of
look
course.
fantastic. Your hair is green.
Thank you. I just touched it up just for you.
I appreciate that. I'm going to put this right here. Yeah, there. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's a
This is
pleasure.
so cool.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
have such an awesome studio.
I appreciate it. We have a lot of mementos here.
I love it.
We have the British Bulldogs over there. These are the big rubber guys, and you have one as well.
Oh yeah, hit that plug.
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting
Right
it
off
early.
the bat.
Yeah.
I love that.
My big rubber guy, I have to say, is like the coolest figure ever. Oh, you got it up
How
there.
about that?
Well, yeah. So
Yo, yours is legit one of the coolest ones I've ever seen.
thank you. I get so lucky with the figures. I have really loved every figure that has come out.
So this is with Matt Cardona's company.
Yeah,
I wasn't
he
sure if
hooked
you
it
guys
up.
were like beefing or not. Because
I
he was
mean-
saying trademark infringement, Indie Goddess, Indie God. That's his name, right?
Look, it's a Game of Thrones out
Okay.
here on the Indies,
Okay.
and if I want to sit on the Indie Iron Throne, I got to take out the king, and that's
Okay.
Matt Cardona. So yeah, there can only be one king, and
And you're down to wrestle men, no problem.
absolutely,
Okay.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm willing to fight Matt Cardona to the death for that title.
A death match?
Yes,
I've seen his death matches
me too.
with the light bulbs and the thumb. You want to do that?
I actually just did one.
I did see that this past weekend. I saw your face.
I know. Yeah, well, see, it was my first match back on the Indies, and I just wanted to make some noise for my first one back, and I just thought, okay, I want the most non-WWE match ever. Like, I want to wrestle men, and I wrestled the GCW Deathmatch
Yes.
champion and Jimmy Lloyd, who is insane. And yeah, we kicked each other's butts.
This was like your big reintroduction.
Yes, yeah, it was a big
I
surprise.
saw the photo that you posted afterwards.
Yeah.
How beat up were you?
I'm feeling it today, to be honest.
are?
Yeah, my back is pretty messed up. The shower afterwards was not fun. I was picking glass out of my back
Oh my dear.
for quite some time.
Look at this. Look at you.
Yeah.
Do you like this? You enjoy this?
I do a lot. But I have to say, I am not a deathmatch wrestler. This is not something that I'm going to be doing often.
You just wanted to come out with a bang.
Yes, I just wanted to come out and do something ridiculous for my first match back, and I just thought that going to GCW and entering in their tournament of survival was the way to go.
Had you ever been in a death match before?
One other time, but honestly, I didn't even do anything that crazy, just
Okay.
like thumbtacks. Didn't go through glass, no barbed wire or anything crazy like that.
Thumbtacks
So,
freak me out.
They're-
It's uncomfortable to watch.
yeah, I mean, they're pretty intense.
When they
Yeah,
stick
for
in,
sure.
like obviously Mick Foley is the most famous example. Like he gets up and it's like all on him.
Yeah,
That stuff's gotta kill afterwards when the adrenaline.
when the adrenaline wears
Goes
off
down,
and you're
yes.
picking
Oh,
every
dear
single
God.
one out. Yeah, it sucks.
What was it like for you? So this was your first indie show since leaving WWE, right?
Yeah.
So and you started on the indies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were very well known and you were popular, and then obviously you come to WWE, and we'll get into all of it. But to sort of be back there, and no knock on GCW whatsoever, but you're not wrestling in front of 17,000 people. The arena isn't quite the same. Catering probably isn't quite the same. If there even is catering. Is
No
there catering? No catering.
Sometimes there's not even water bottles back
Oh,
there. You
dear
know what
God.
I'm saying?
You bring your own catering.
Exactly.
What was
yeah.
that like for you?
no, it's weird because like obviously it being like my first match back to the indies, it makes it real that I'm not with WWE anymore. So it's like bittersweet. But once I made my entrance and that crowd went insane and I just got to have a match that was just stress-free and just wild and balls to the wall. No one was telling me, no, you cannot use glass, or no, you can't, do that crazy thing. It was a lot of fun and like really helped with my confidence already.
Were you starting to doubt yourself a little bit?
Well, yeah, it's you start to when you're not being used for, I haven't really done much in like the last year and a half. So yeah, it's hard on your confidence for sure.
Part of that was injury, right?
Yeah. I tore my ACL back in February of 2024.
Right.
Yeah.
And you came back at the very end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is, we had Cora Jade in studio last week. We had Sonya Deville a couple months ago. All three of you had ACL injuries and were released shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, and I know that your situation was a contract renewal, right? Mm-hmm. But do you think of this in the moment? Like, hey, if I'm out of sight, out of mind, this is going, like, usually when you get injured, it's like, hey, shit happens, and you hope to get back into your same spot when you come back. But do you think there is something to the fact that if you get injured, you almost, like, the whole machine moves without you, and then you become expendable, and then when it's time to make a decision, like, hey, we just lived a year without this person, we can move on?
Right.
It ends up being part of the death knell, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, that is the big fear. Like, obviously, like when you're going through such a huge injury like that puts you out for almost a year, you start like getting in your head a little because you're stuck at home. You're just going to rehab and you're thinking like, oh man, what if they're not going to use me when I get back? Like, what if it's it for me? But, you try to stay positive and you hope that, well, if I, work really hard and come back even better, maybe I'll get rewarded for coming back from, such an intense injury. But unfortunately for me, I was like, oh.
Did you watch WWE while you were away?
Of course.
Okay,
yeah.
So you kept up with it.
Yeah.
Is that hard? Do you have FOMO? You're like, man.
Huge FOMO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing with me. Like, I have huge FOMO. It wasn't hard watching it because I was rooting my friends, right?
Yeah.
But it really just like kept me motivated, honestly.
You want to be in the mix though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, I could be perfect for this.
Yeah.
Was that part of the reason you came back, I think, in December or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were actually quite emotional when you came back, the promo.
Yeah.
And that was real.
It was. Yeah. I was just really happy with my match because, like, coming back from an injury, like, you're training and you just don't know what it's going to be like when you get back out there and have your first match. And I thought that I put on a good show and I, like, was really hopeful for the future. After, sitting at home for 10 months, not knowing what was going to come of it, I felt very hopeful in that moment. So, yeah, I was just very hopeful for the future of my career at that point.
In fact, you said in a video, a New Year's video, that your resolution for 2025 was to have the most matches of your career.
Yes.
And in the indies, you had like something like 100 to 200 matches a year, right?
Yeah, I was working hard on the indies. So I knew like saying that was a ballsy feat, and maybe like I manifested my release with that because there was no way that I was going to be wrestling that much on WWE.
But it was more the message that you wanted to send maybe to the brass that like, hey, I'm ready to work.
Yes, yeah, that is exactly, like, I've always been a workhorse and I feel like I've never really got to show how hard I can work. And like, I'm always like, put me on everything. I don't need to sleep. Like, I will do all of the interviews and all of the appearances and wrestle on every single show. Yeah,
you could burn yourself out if you do that.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Did you ever burn yourself out?
No,
not yet.
No, not yet. I just really love wrestling and I love being on the road and I love getting out there and, just promoting myself and I just love the sport.
When you came back, when did you start to feel like perhaps your contract wouldn't be renewed?
Well, like when I did my little stunt at NXT, like I was never meant to stay at NXT. They told me like, okay, we'll give you like 2 months at NXT and we'll bring you back to SmackDown. So I was really hopeful that I was going to get something at SmackDown. They told me that I would possibly be working with Chelsea in something, and I was pitching some storylines with her. And it was just like week after week, like they were like, oh, we're going to move it back. We're going to move it back. And then it wasn't until like around Mania where I was like, oh, maybe they're not going to renew my contract. So it started to get real around then.
So Mania was in like early April, and your contract was up in May.
Yeah.
When you came to the realization that this was a real thing, how were you feeling?
I don't know. I was feeling a lot of different things. I try to stay positive and think like, no, like, they're going to use me. Like, big things are coming. Like, I just got to keep pitching things. I got to like keep putting myself out there, even though I'm not showing up to TV. But then part of me was like, okay, I need to get ready for this because like my contract's going to be up and I don't get those 90 days to figure out my stuff and get bookings lined up, get merch lined up. So I also have to like think about, okay, what am I going to do if they don't re-sign me? So I don't know. I was kind of just in the mode of get to work.
Where were you when you got the call?
I was at home. I just got back from the gym and I actually was just sitting in my living room, no TV on, no music, just like contemplating my career a little bit. Because
in that moment?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I had just put out that big promo kind of calling out WWE to like give me a call. So I don't know. I was just like letting it all soak in because it kind of got out there. Like a lot of people were texting me about it. And actually a lot of people thought like I got released because
of the promo.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
No, I don't think so. No, because they hadn't been using me for a while. So I think that they knew for a little bit that they weren't going to renew my contract.
Were you given a reason?
No. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. I probably will never know why they released me. But like WWE doesn't owe me anything. That's showbiz, right? Like They just didn't think that I was money, and that's okay. Like I can take that.
How do you react when you get that?
A little bit of relief, obviously. Like I had already been like grieving it for a little bit. Like I felt like it was coming just because my contract was up so soon. And but then also just like so hopeful for like the future. I was just like, well, okay, now I get to like go out there and do what I love to do full speed. Like no one is going to make my schedule. I get to make my schedule and I get to work every weekend if I want to. Like I can wrestle 3 times a week or however many matches I want, like, so I was just really hopeful for the future. And I just felt like this weight lifted off of me.
Okay. Who's the first person you call?
I didn't really say anything for a minute. I waited until my husband got home and I told him. I called Scarlett, who's, my bestie. So I told her. I messaged Matt Cardona immediately. I was like, I need a figure. I'm done. Make me a figure, please.
He's sort of put out the blueprint, but also in many respects, I think, given a lot of people hope that the career isn't over when you leave WWE and that the career can even level up. Right?
Yeah.
Become more famous, more popular, right?
Yeah. He's very inspiring. And I like that he's very transparent on like how he gets things done, because I feel like some people really gatekeep that information, but he's just out there with like everything. Like, here's how you guys can make money. Here's how you guys can make it on your own without a big machine behind you.
Was there any point in the, for lack of a better word, grieving process where you're like, I want to take a break from wrestling?
No.
You want to go full?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I need to work as soon as my contract is up.
And I saw that you said this past weekend you made more money than you had in 2 days in a week right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that correctly, but 2 days on the indies, you made more than a week in WWE.
Yeah. I mean, that's me hustling though. Like that's me including like what I've sold online and meet and greets and, payout for my matches, of course. Yeah. But I know that that's not going to be like that forever because like when you first get back on the indies, everyone's so hyped. So everyone wants to like buy your merch and like,
Support
take
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I know that won't be forever, but it felt good. It felt good that, I can make it on my own.
Do you feel like a lot of people are supporting you?
Yeah, I would say so. Especially like after this past weekend, like I showed up in a death match and I showed that like, hey, I'm not licking my wounds. I'm creating some more wounds.
Right. Also, MLW, right?
Yeah. I'm really excited about that. Like I've been watching them for a long time when I did my first run on the indies, and it's super cool that I get to come in there. Like I hope that I get to do some really awesome stuff, maybe be champion someday.
I love it. And you know what's great about your situation is you were Shotzi in WWE. You could be Shotzi Blackheart, but it's very familiar.
Yes.
How did you do this? Because you were Shotzi Blackheart before WWE, right?
Yeah.
Usually they want you to change the name so they can own it.
Yeah. I mean, I was Shotzi since I was 16, so there was no way I wasn't gonna not be Shotzi. Yeah.
But there are people who are very well known that they'll have them change. Daniel Bryan. Right. They'll just do something so that they can own the name.
Yeah, exactly.
With you, they got rid of the Blackheart, but
yeah.
I feel like it's a huge thing that you could still be Shotzi.
I agree. Yeah.
Did they ask you originally, or did they try to push for you when you first got signed to change the name completely?
No. Hunter really liked what I had going on. He loved the name. He loved the look, everything. So they wanted to just ride with what I had going on.
Okay. And where did that name come from?
So I was in this musical called Starmites when I was 16 in high school. And Shotzi was a character in the musical who's like this evil banshee lady, an alien thing. It's very complicated. But I was that. And then just it stuck. I've been Shotzi ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because your real name is Ashley, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with your name. You don't like that.
I hate it.
You don't want anyone to be called.
No.
Wow.
I feel like a lot of people think I'm rude because I'll introduce myself as Shotzi. And like in the wrestling business, like people usually will, out of respect, introduce themselves as their shoot name. But like I've always been Shotzi.
Okay.
So it's not like a disrespect thing if I introduce myself as Shotzi.
Okay. I didn't think it was. Now, where did Blackheart come from?
I'm a huge Joan Jett fan.
Okay.
So Blackheart. Yeah, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Ronda Rousey used to come out to.
I know. Yeah. I always
Jett.
thought that was badass.
Yes.
And then she had Joan Jett with her.
Yes.
I was so jealous.
Did you meet her?
Joan Jett?
Yes.
No. I haven't.
Legend.
I wish.
So when you're a youngster, how I believe your dad was really into pro wrestling, right?
Yeah,
also
my dad and my brother.
Martial arts as well.
Yeah, my dad was
black belt. Was he a black belt?
Yeah, he was a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo. He had his own Taekwondo studio, the Urbanski Academy,
Amazing.
which is my last name.
In California.
Yes.
You grew up in San Jose.
Yep.
And did you get into martial arts, karate, taekwondo, anything like that?
My dad would teach me sometimes, but we just never like stuck with it.
Okay.
I wish I did though, because I love taekwondo, and like now that he's gone, I would really love to get into it. Like my sister really took to it when my dad passed, and
there he is.
Oh yeah, there he is.
The legend.
My badass dad. Yeah, he is the coolest.
He kind of looks like Chuck Norris.
I know.
Right?
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was the post when you unfortunately shared the news of his passing, but he seemed like such an unbelievable role model. And
truly, like
really
always,
shaped,
really shaped me. Yeah, he always had my back. He was my best friend, and like he just taught me to be a badass, like, and not take anyone's shit. And he taught me to love rock and roll, and he taught me to love tattoos. Like I watched my dad get a tattoo in our kitchen when I was like 4 years old. He got this really awesome dragon piece. And I would love to get a giant dragon tattoo on my back just to...
Have you gotten it yet? Because I've seen you talk about this.
The dragon tattoo?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. It's just like...
You hate you love tattoos, but you hate getting tattoos, which is quite the dichotomy because you are completely covered in tattoos.
I know, like I used to do like 9-hour sessions and now I'm like, you get 2 out of me. But you can't do that with a back piece.
Sure.
It's very time consuming. And then imagine like getting a giant back tattoo and then taking bumps on the mat afterwards.
Dear, yeah. How long do you have to wait for something like that?
Like a week or 2 maybe. Yeah.
The first one, what was it?
My first tattoo, I was 15. I got the drama masks on my shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad actually took me to get it when I was 15.
When you were 15?
Yeah.
What did your mom say about this?
I somehow talked her into it.
Wow. Is your mom's Filipino mom?
Yes.
She's very Filipina, excuse me.
Yes.
Very traditional?
Yes, very traditional. She doesn't like
tattoos?
No tattoos. Yeah. She hates like the colored hair and everything. But I had this whole PowerPoint presentation for her. Gosh. And I was like, Mom, look, I love theater. I'm never going to regret this tattoo. Like, I'm going to be on Broadway. Please let me have this tattoo. And she was like, sure, whatever.
And then
she just gave up
forward,
at that point.
You're covered in tattoos. How does she feel like every time you get another one? At this point,
she's used to it now. Yeah, okay. She knows like that's just me now. And I feel I think she just thought like, oh, you're never going to become a doctor or whatever. But now that I'm doing wrestling, she's like, whatever. Okay, it's cool.
Does she like wrestling?
No. She hates
at all.
I do
really?
it. No.
She hates that you do it?
Yes, because, she just worries about me.
Okay.
She's like, I don't want you to get hurt. I hate watching it. She like hates watching my matches. She still does, but she hates it.
When you got this news, did she try to convince you to do something else? Like maybe this is the chance that you can become the doctor.
My mom always just wanted me to be a doctor. Like that was just her, or a lawyer. Yeah. But I think she's accepted that that's not happening.
So you're 4 years old and your dad's getting a tattoo in your kitchen, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, obviously you don't probably remember, but like, do you just say like, that guy's the coolest, I want to just be like him?
Yes. I just always thought my dad was the coolest. He was just always so sweet with me. And yeah, we've just always been best friends. Like, riding on his motorcycle with him and like just rocking out to AC/DC in his truck. Like my dad was just always the fun one.
Wow.
Yeah.
He got to see a little bit of your career.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
What did he think of it? Was he like your biggest fan?
So proud of me.
Okay.
Bought every single merch. Like anytime I would go out with my dad, we'd go like shopping at Target. He'd be like, my daughter's a wrestler. Like one of those.
Did he go to your matches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He actually went to NXT when I won the tag championships. He didn't know that I was going to win. I actually didn't even know I was going to win the tag belts when he was coming. And it was like, and that was actually like his last year. So it was really cool to have that moment with him.
Wow.
And they let him like come backstage and like, take photos with me and the belt. So that was like a really awesome moment that I got to share with him.
I saw some interviews that you did in the aftermath, the immediate aftermath, and it obviously, you're so close to him. Do you feel like you are starting to be comfortable in life without him, or do you still feel like you're grieving? Because it was just a couple of years ago that he passed, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's the new normal now.
Yeah.
Like I will forever miss him. And sure, I still like think about him and get a little worked up, but I got to move on, So it's just the new normal.
Your career is a fascinating one because I think you wanted to be a wrestler from a very young age, right? Do you remember how old you were when?
Well, no. Actually, I wanted to be in theater. Like,
okay, you wanted
Broadway,
to perform.
Yes, yeah. Broadway was like my first love. I actually went to AMDA, the American Musical and Dramatic Arts Academy in Hollywood. I think there's one here in New York too. I dropped out because it got way too expensive. But while I was at AMDA, we did this class called Stage Combat, which is basically like wrestling. Like they teach you like the roles and stuff and like, like fake, like fighting on stage. And it was my favorite class ever. And when I dropped out, I, started watching wrestling again with my sister and we fell in love with the Wyatt family. And it was like at that moment where I was like, wait, maybe I could be a wrestler. Cause like I love musical theater, but like I'm so wacky, and I like was getting tattoos at the time, and had colorful hair, and I felt like I didn't really fit like the mold of a musical theater person. I always felt like a little too wild for it.
Okay.
So yeah, at that moment, I just decided I'm going to be a wrestler, and I just Googled, how do you become a pro wrestler? Wow. And APW came up near me, which was like a big wrestling company in the Bay Area. So yeah, the rest was history.
So you just show up one day?
Yeah, I showed up to APW and I was like, I want to wrestle. Can you teach me? But unfortunately, Roland Alexander, who run APW, he passed away like a month after I signed up, and I never got to train with them. And then I started going to Hood Slam in Oakland, which is this really awesome party wrestling show. And
what do you mean by party wrestling?
So, okay, like that's the only way that I feel like I can describe it. But like, so Hood Slam, you like go in and it's just like it's 21 and up, and a lot of the wrestlers will wrestle as like video game characters or comic book characters, and it's just a wild time. Like the opening of the show, the host comes out and he'll like be pouring whiskey down everyone's throat.
Oh, wow.
The fans are up against the ring, and they always sell out. Like it's 1,000 people just crammed into this building, and it was just the wildest time ever. And I met the owner, Dark Chic, and she gave me her card. And then I just started training with them in this, smoky warehouse.
Wow. I've never heard of that promo. And I feel, have you ever seen Beyond the Mat, the documentary?
Yeah.
Roland Alexander is featured in it.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't know he passed away.
Yeah.
But he's
in 2013, I
2013.
think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's what's the name of there's the two guys that he was it Mikey? In the film, there's the two guys that he brings to the dark match.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie. I've seen it like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
It's the best. And they don't make it, and it's just such a fascinating look at the at the sport, at the business,
right?
From WWE all the way down to ECW and the Indies. So and now I remember that it was in the Bay Area. Okay, so then you get to Hood Slam, which sounds like a great time.
It was.
And then where do you go from there? How do you get to Tough Enough? Tough Enough is like your first introduction into the world of WWE. How do you get that call?
So I was on Facebook one day, and my non-wrestling friend posted that she just had an interview for Tough Enough.
Wow.
And I had been watching Tough Enough, like just going back and watching old like actually when I decided that I wanted to be a wrestler, I started watching Tough Enough just to like get like some insight on what to expect. And she posted that, and I was like, oh my goodness, can you please give me the email to whoever you just talked to? And she did. And I did like an online interview with them, and then they brought me in.
But you had a heart condition.
Yeah.
That ruled you out.
Yeah, I had no idea that I had that even. So
what was it?
Just like a little heart murmur, nothing super serious. And like I just had to wear a heart halter for 2 days to really figure out what was wrong with it, and they cleared me after that.
But that kind of ruled you out of the competition.
Yeah, because it was live. So they were like, we don't have time to put you through this medical process. We got to like film the show right now.
Did you think that was it for you with WWE after that?
No, I didn't, because they gave me their card, and they said, when you figure out your heart stuff, send us the medical clearance and we'll get you in for another tryout.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when do you get your next tryout with them? Because then you start doing your thing on the indies, right?
Yeah. I continued to wrestle, and then a year later, I came in for another tryout, and they were still like, yeah, it's a maybe right now. Maybe come back to us in like 6 months to a year, and we can talk again. And then at that point, I was like, I'm not going to hit them up anymore. I'm going to make so much noise on the indies, they're going to hit me up. And that's kind of what happened. I was wrestling WrestleMania weekend, and Brookside and William Regal were there, and they just liked what I was doing, and they signed me.
There was some interest from AEW as well. at the time, right?
No. No, I wish. Yeah, I wish I could say that, but no, they did not hit me up.
Okay, because what I had read in my research was that like they said yeah maybe, but then maybe once AEW was, or maybe they thought
Yes, okay, that's what it was. So WWE, they offered me a contract.
yeah.
And then like I went through medical and all that stuff. And then they were like, never mind, actually, we're gonna pull your contract. And at that point I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's never happening. And then out of nowhere, they were like, can you start in 2 weeks?
Wow.
And I think it was like around the time that AEW was starting to come up and
Yep.
they got their TV deal and stuff. So
2019.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I credit AEW for getting me
Because at the time, a lot of the
at
guys were
NXT.
getting longer contracts.
Yes.
They were trying to secure everyone.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, if it weren't for AEW, I don't know that I would have showed up at NXT.
All right. Shout out.
Yeah.
And you also said, I think to Daria, that maybe some photos you felt like could have stopped you from getting in.
Yeah. So that was the thing is, they signed me, or, they tried to. They did the whole background check, and then they were like, this is not really what we want from our divas. They didn't like some photos that I had posted like on Instagram.
Oh,
It
really?
was just a little too sexy for them, I think. And
That's a wild thing because WWE, I mean, over the years.
I know. Yeah, I think at that point they were trying to change like the model of like,
Okay.
their women superstars. Like they really wanted to like have them be taken seriously, especially like Hunter, like, at NXT, he like ran a tight ship. He's like, I want the women to be taken seriously. So I completely understood, but I just thought at that point that, okay, it was done. Like, if that's what they don't want, then there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't go back in time and erase the photos. You know what I'm saying? So, I just thought it was over for me at WWE. And then a few months later, they contacted me again, and I was in quickly. Like, I had 2 weeks to pack. I was living in Indiana at the time, and I just shoved it all in a U-Haul and drove over to Orlando immediately.
Why were you living in Indiana?
Because it is very hard to get booked in Northern California. The flights are very expensive, and there's a lot more wrestling happening in like the East Coast, Midwest. So I was, a year before I got signed, maybe like a year and a half, I was like, I need to move like to Chicago or somewhere easier for people to fly me out. And I think that's what got me signed though, making that move, just betting on myself, because I was getting booked a lot more and just making more noise on the indies. And it was very helpful for me.
When you get in, the pandemic hits, right?
Yeah.
How difficult was that for you?
Yeah, that was really hard for me because I started at NXT like November of 2019.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit like a few months later. And I didn't really know anyone at that point. Like I knew people at the PC, but I wasn't going to, bug people to hang out.
Yeah.
Like we're in a pandemic. So it was just me and my dog in my little apartment. And then like once a month we would do tapings at NXT. So that was really hard. The
lonely.
COVID was very lonely. Very lonely. And we we couldn't train. So I was just like running laps around my apartment building.
Wow.
Yeah.
No one was training together?
No, we weren't training. It wasn't until like a few months later we started doing training with like masks.
Right.
And it was like very limited. But yeah, it was those first few months of COVID when we were doing like 4 shows in a day at Full Sail. And then the rest of the month we were just waiting for the next one. Yeah.
Your look though was so great with the helmet and the tank. It was so unique. And I think it really, here you are, like what a great I hate to call it a gimmick, but like what a great look that you had, and it really made you stand out. Whose idea was all of that?
Well, this is what I was doing on the indies.
So you came up with this.
Yeah.
So why'd they take it away?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like Hunter loved it. When I went to NXT, he was all for it. Like I showed him a video of my little tiny tank that I got at Walmart, And
got that thing at Walmart?
no, okay, that one is that's the
souped-up
upgrade
version? Okay,
yes,
yeah.
that's the Hunter version.
Okay.
He hooked it up.
Okay.
But I started with a tiny tank that I got at Walmart. It's for like children.
Okay,
like,
got
it was
it.
a little 2-seater for children. And I showed him a video and he's like, "Can you get it to TV this week?" And I ordered an Uber XL, got that little tank in there and brought it to Full Sail. And yeah, he was just so into it. And then when I got to the main roster, Vince was not on the same page.
No, he didn't like it?
No, he didn't like it. But you know what? I was ready for the change and I totally understood where he was coming from. He was just like, "Look, you got so much going on. Like, you got the green hair, you got all the tattoos, you're like really, really cool looking. And then you like muddy it up with the helmet, the tank, and the howl. Like, I just want to know who Shotzi is." Like, he wanted me to be more real. So
No, this is awful advice. Sorry, Jen. The tank was great.
No, I know. I agree. But I was ready for the challenge, you know? Like, I'm a company woman.
Yes, I get it.
If there needs to be changes, I can do it. So I was fully game. Like, I was a little sad to see it all go because I worked so hard to like create this cool character and I was very happy with it. But I'm always down for a challenge.
And so when you're up there and Vince McMahon is telling you all of this, is this surreal for you that you're face to face with him?
A little bit, yeah. But he was honestly so nice about it.
Okay.
And he was like, he was always really cool with me. He really loved my promos, and he was like, "Look, like, I really love the way you talk. Like, your promos are always so real, and I just want to tap into that." So he like explained it to me in a way that I was like, okay, maybe this will be good for me to change it up, because at that time I was doing that same gimmick, had that helmet from the time I started on the Indies, like my first match. So like I had been wrestling for 8 years at that point with the same gimmick.
Right.
So I was ready. I was up for the challenge.
That period where Hunter's is leading the charge with NXT, and you're part of it. What was it like to be a part of that? Because you guys were on fire.
Amazing. Like, seeing Hunter work especially in that era, I learned so much because he was so hands-on with NXT. Like, I'm sure with like main roster, he has so many like things to juggle, right? So I didn't see him as much on the main roster, but like he was hands-on for NXT and just like there through everything. And working with him at that time, and because also like I was on every show back then, so I got to work with him a lot. It was really awesome, and I learned so much from Hunter.
There was a feeling around 21 where they were like the consensus seemed to be like they were trying to kill NXT, or that anyone that came from NXT to the main roster wasn't getting a fair shake. You know what I mean? Like, Cross comes over and he loses his first match, and it just felt like there was this weird, and then they changed it to NXT 2.0 and all this stuff. Was that a real thing, or was that just something that people were talking about on the internet?
I didn't see it that way. I think like Cross and funny enough, like I feel like we have a lot of parallels. We got called up at the same time, and it was the same with him. Like Vince just wanted to change his thing too. Like, he got rid of Scarlett and, had him do this Viking gimmick.
Also not a great idea.
But I'm sure that Kevin was up for the challenge.
He was. What is that like, by the way? Yeah, I have so much respect for you guys because of everything they have to deal with. Like, we talk to MMA fighters as well, and boxers and stuff like that. They control their destiny. They keep winning, they'll go to the top.
Yeah.
You guys are not in that case. Someone has to decide if you're going to go to the top, and then someone's going to decide if you're on TV or not, and then someone's going to decide how you look and how you dress. It's a lot to deal with, right?
That's showbiz, baby.
It is showbiz to a degree, but in showbiz, it's like a movie every 6 to 8, 9 months.
That's
you guys
true.
are dealing with it on a daily, weekly basis.
Yeah.
It can mess with you, right?
It messed with me for sure.
How did you handle it?
I'll be honest, like and also like, granted, like I was going through a lot when I first started at the main roster. So like going through all the changes, and then also
you mean personal?
Yeah, just like, like grieving my dad and my stepdad. I lost both of them in the span of like 9 months. And then also like watching my sister fight through cancer, and then like coming to the main roster and having to completely change my character and not really knowing who I was on the main roster. And then also like, you know, going through all of that and then watching it like kind of affect my performances and then reading how people responded to that was just like very hard on me. So I think that's why I say like I'm building my confidence back up now on the indies. And yeah, that's kind of what like the promo was about. Like I went through all of that and I really worked on myself when I tore my ACL. Like I think that my ACL tear was kind of a blessing in disguise because I really needed to work on my mental health at that point. And I was just, you know, like a workhorse. I didn't take any time off when I lost my dad and my stepdad. I showed up to TV every week, even when I wasn't booked, you know, and, you know, was stuck in my head a lot.
What do you do when you're at TV and not working?
Hanging out.
Okay.
You know.
Are you pitching things? Are you trying to be seen?
Yeah, I would pitch things to my writer a lot. But maybe I could have been more active about that. Like I was never the one to like knock on Vince's door or knock on Hunter's door and be like, hey, please use me. Like I have this idea. Like I was also always very by the book. Like I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. I, you know, would only go through my writer usually. Like it was very rare that I would go to Hunter and be like, hey, I need to do something. Like probably one of the only times that I asked him for something was when I wanted to shave my head.
Right. To support your sister.
Yeah.
And he was cool with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As soon as I told him, he was like, okay, like what's like the time frame? Like how much time do we have? Like what are you thinking? Yeah, he was game for it.
How is she doing?
She's doing good. She's still, you know, she's still fighting. But she is in better mental spirits now, I think. Yeah, like definitely better mentally now.
Okay. What, did she know that you were going to do that? Did you tell her?
I did, but I didn't tell her when or how it was going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did she react?
She like immediately FaceTimed me crying and yeah, I'm just glad that I got to do that for her.
Yeah.
She's honestly my best friend. Like we are so close.
Do you get to see her? Do you live?
No, I live so far from her.
Geez.
Yeah, she lives in California still. And I live in Orlando now, so I don't get to go over there as much. But I have so many bookings in the Bay Area now that I get to see my family all the time. Like since getting let go, I've seen them more than I have in like last year.
And so when you're on the roster and you're having moments like you and Ronda, that was a great feud, right? Like, are you feeling at any point like, hey, I'm here, like I'm on a roll? Was there any point looking back now where you felt like you had your mojo, like things were going well for you?
I felt like right before my injury, I felt like I was getting on a roll. Like I had just done, I had just done War Games and I thought like I had a really good showing there, and Hunter put me over on the press conference after that. And I was having really awesome matches on the live events, like wrestling for 20 minutes with, you know, Asuka and Io and Bailey and Becky. So like I felt like I was going to start being in the mix. And then, you know, the injury happens and it just like killed my momentum completely.
How did you like working with Ronda?
I loved working with Ronda.
Okay.
She is so cool and so down, and people do not give her enough credit. Yeah, she, like, she got a lot of shit when we did that DDT spot in our match, and like people didn't like how she took the move. She went and got a trainer to teach her how to spike a DDT. And we did it in our next match, and she fought for it. She was like, I don't care what we do in this match. I am taking that DDT from you again. And she took it like a champ, spiked herself on the apron. And yeah, she is such a badass. I loved working with Ronda.
Why do you think the fans had sort of like a love-hate relationship with her?
I don't know, because when she like first came in, she had that WrestleMania match and it was really, really awesome. But I don't know, like, I don't know with the fans. Like, they're so picky sometimes, you know?
Do you pay attention to a lot of that stuff?
I try not to. Like, for a long time, I didn't really have a Twitter. Like, I told my husband to log into my Twitter and then just like retweet WWE stuff, and I'm not going on it.
You didn't want to read it. You didn't want it to get in your head or affect you.
No, because I'm too sensitive, and I'm very aware of that. So I try to stay away from it.
Okay, but now?
Now I'm learning to not give a hoot.
Okay, good. Is it working?
Yes. So I'm just gonna own that, and I don't give a hoot.
What about this Ron Killing story? Work or shoot?
I do think that they actually like let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a string of contract non-renewals, right?
Yeah.
So
I just feel like, because also like at the same time, Carlito and Sarah Logan's they told them that their contract wasn't getting renewed. So I think it would be really messed up of WWE to like capitalize on that.
Sure.
To, you know.
So do you think it was as simple as they did it, they thought it would be a thing, it would go away 24 hours later, it didn't, and they're like, hey, let's reconsider this?
I think the fans got him back.
That's wild.
I think the fans got him back. And like that just shows you like how much power the fans do have sometimes, you know? So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you see he cut his hair yesterday?
I know.
Yes. Crazy, right?
I know.
I mean, I like that they're doing this. It's a fascinating thing because they do the press conferences now, and so like that gives you this window into the world that you didn't have before.
Exactly.
And so I almost wish that, and we'll see where he goes from here, but I feel like they have an opportunity to make him into this sort of like anti-establishment hero, like the fans got me back, screw all of you. So where he could be like a babyface to the people, but to the brass and the people in the back, he's trying to shove it down their throat, and Cena represents that, and there's a real opportunity at 53 years old to give him this moment here,
which is amazing and like so cool, because yes, he's 53. That just gives us hope that like I could be 53 years old and be put in like some crazy storyline, right? Still.
Absolutely. And as you know, people leave WWE, they come back.
Yeah.
Are you hopeful that you'll be back? Do you think of that?
I mean, I would love to be back at WWE. I loved working there. I didn't love not working there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it was only when I wasn't being used that I was unhappy. But anytime I was being used, good time. Loved the locker room. Loved like everyone I was working for. So yeah, that's just it. I just don't want to go back and not work.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to be active.
Yes.
Are you open to being full-time with someone else?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the indie thing is cool, but you would prefer a home?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like, you know, I love TNA. I love AEW. Like,
You watch them?
yes. Yeah. Always have.
Do you have a preference?
AEW.
Yeah. Why is
Yeah.
that?
I mean, for so many reasons. I love their freedom. I have a lot of friends there who are doing really awesome things. I've heard many stories of how Tony treats talent. So, I do love that he really cares for his talent. That is super important to me. Yeah. And like hot girls get to make out with each other. So like, that's cool.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. What's like a dream feud for you there?
I mean, first thing that comes to mind, Athena. I think that she's so awesome. I honestly think that she's the best women's wrestler in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, I am such a huge fan of her. Not even just because we tagged together and I had so much fun with her, as a tag team, but I just think she's amazing. And I've never gotten to wrestle her before, so I would love that. But also, Mercedes Moné, obviously.
Sure. Tony Storm?
Tony Storm, absolutely. Just to hear the promos that she would cut on me. She is killing it.
Yes.
She is killing it. But I wouldn't want to go, to AEW, just because like I was signed with WWE and I expect them to to sign me. You know, I want to earn my spot. That's why like I want to just kill it on the indies. And if they really love what I'm doing, you know, for the rest of the year, I'm game.
Are you booked up obviously in the immediate future, like from now till when?
Through the year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like are you done? Like you can't take anything more?
No, I still have like a couple days.
Is it every
in the
weekend?
year. Pretty much, yeah.
How many do you think you'll get to by the time like December 31st?
Like matches?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. I'm hoping like 100.
Wow. So your resolution may actually come true, just
Maybe.
not where you thought it was going to come true.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is there one right now like coming up that you're really looking forward to? One booking, one match?
Ooh, I can't say.
You can't say.
No, I don't.
Why? It's a surprise.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away.
It hasn't been announced yet.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you going to
But it's a good one.
show up with the tank and all that?
I would love to. I'm still like in the process of trying to get my tank back.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Now, which tank is this? Is this the Walmart tank or the
souped up tank? I'm trying to get that one back.
Do you get to keep it?
Well, okay, so technically it's half mine, half WWE's, because when they made that tank, they cut my tank in half and they put it on top of it's a wheelchair in electric.
Oh, really?
It's an electric wheel. They built it around an electric wheelchair.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would love, if possible, to have it back.
Have you asked?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the response?
They were like, "Oh, we'll find out for you." But I was like, "I will drive to Connecticut right now and get it."
Will you pay for it?
I'll just
if they say we'll sell it to you.
Yes.
You're in. Worth
immediately. Yes, I love that thing so much.
It's so good.
I would just want it just to even just have it to keep in my
As a
garage or
memento.
whatever. Yeah,
Right,
yeah. It means a lot to me.
And you're a big collector, right?
Yes.
I've seen like the interviews that you do. You have all these things behind you, and you're into like the horror movies.
Yeah.
The paranormal stuff.
Yeah,
You
I
and
mean
Scarlett.
most of my toys are from horror movies.
Okay. What's with the haunted houses? I want nothing to do with a haunted house. Why would you want to go into a haunted house? Why are you so into it? This is the YouTube channel, you and Scarlett.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Yes. Why do you like this?
I don't know.
And are they real haunted houses?
They are very
legit.
real.
These things exist.
Yes, they are super legit, super
Ghosts.
scary. Yes, some places more haunted than others. Like for instance, Lizzie Borden. That house is super haunted. There's something going on there.
Like what?
I don't know, but Scarlett levitated there.
Wow.
You could see it on the show too.
Legit. This is legit.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So we played light as a feather, stiff as a board with Scarlett. You know, like that little kid game where you like put 2 fingers under her, and she got this far off of the ground.
Jeez Louise.
And we tried to pick her up, you know, before playing, and it was impossible. We were not going to do it, but that girl got this high off the ground, and we were all freaked out. It was wild, and we tried it at other places. We couldn't do it.
Have you ever seen a ghost? Can you see ghosts like Casper style?
No,
it doesn't work that way.
No, I'm not talented like that.
Okay.
I wish. I feel
bel-
like there's some people that like, you know, they just have that talent.
What do you think happens when you die?
I think multiple things. I'm not sure exactly.
Do you think there is life after death?
Yeah. I believe in like possibly reincarnation or, you know, other
Heaven,
realms.
hell? Do you believe in that?
Not really, no.
So you're not religious?
No, spiritual.
Spiritual, but not religious.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
I think like, I don't know, religion is so like confined to like one thing. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you believe maybe in higher powers?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you pray?
Yeah.
Who do you pray to?
The universe.
Okay. Do you believe in like astrology?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know
Crystals?
too much about it, but like
you want to believe
I believe in like the universe and like, you know, a higher power and like we're all connected, you know.
Yeah. This is important.
Yeah.
I think it's important to believe in something bigger than you.
Absolutely. I agree.
This shapes who you are.
Yeah, for sure.
The green hair. Does the green hair represent anything?
Yeah, well, I chose green because I'm a huge horror fan. Like my favorite monster is Creature. So the green is kind of an ode to my favorite monster, the creature from the Black Lagoon.
How often do you change the color?
Never. Really.
Never.
Well, I mean, sometimes it'll change shades of green.
Okay.
But the only time I had a different color than green was when I shaved my head and I kept it my natural hair color for a little bit.
And did you really get married on one day and then wrestle later that day with the
same
with the wedding dress?
Yeah. So I actually pitched that to Road Dogg. Yep, yeah, that's me.
This is legit.
Yeah, I got married at the little white wedding chapel and then rushed on over and wrestled Bailey.
That is with the wedding dress.
With the wedding dress. I ripped off the wig and everything, but yeah, it was a good time.
And that's your husband?
Yeah.
And he was down?
He's a huge wrestling fan.
Okay.
He's a bigger wrestling fan than I am.
Wow.
Like so we have our toy room and you've probably seen my side of the room. It's all horror toys. His side is all wrestling and mostly Undertaker and Kane. But yeah, his side is all wrestling. Did you meet him
once you were a wrestler?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you met at a show or something? Or was he a wrestler?
No.
Okay.
No, he was living in Orlando. He's an architect for like the theme parks in Orlando.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he just worked on Epic Universe. He worked on like Donkey Kong. I think his job is so cool because I love theme parks.
So that wedding was real? That
wedding was legit. Okay. Yeah, we legitimately got married at the little white wedding chapel in the morning. And then I wrestled that night in the wedding dress.
Did you pitch them this beforehand or in the midst? Okay.
Yeah. We planned it maybe like a few weeks before. I got booked on that live event, and I told my husband, I was like, "What if we just stopped planning the wedding and we just eloped?"
Wow. So you were deep into planning something?
Not super deep.
Okay.
Like we had talks about like what we wanted to do. Like we wanted to do like this big like Halloween wedding. And I was just like, you know what? Screw all this stressful stuff. Like, let's just get married and it just be us. And it was the best idea ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I am so happy that we did that. Like, it was just no stress. We just did it, got a really awesome room at the Cosmopolitan and just had some fun that night with like everyone that was on the show. So all the wrestlers came out and partied with us at a karaoke bar, and it was the greatest time ever.
You refer to yourself as the ballsy badass.
Yeah.
Is that like things like that? Is that why, or is it for another reason?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm just like so spontaneous.
For the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I live life on the edge.
As far as like, I mean, obviously the death match would be a risk, but like, are you someone who does crazy stuff like that, jumping off things? Are you into all that stuff?
I mean, in wrestling.
Okay,
yes.
In wrestling, not like jumping off of like bridges and stuff like
that.
Okay,
no. I would never go like bungee jumping or like skydiving or anything. Like that's not me. I've done hang gliding. That's like the most crazy thing I guess I've done.
That is ballsy to a degree.
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
Ballsy?
Yeah.
So when I started getting into wrestling heavy, and I like told my friend that I wanted to become a wrestler, he like, started giving me advice and like gave me a bunch of wrestling DVDs. And he was also in a band, and they have this song called I'm Ballsy, which I come out to on the indies. And I just always thought that the word ballsy was so fun. So I wanted to be ballsy something. So I just came up with ballsy badass.
And it works. And then the Miz stole it.
Well, yes, he stole the big balls, but I guess multiple people could have giant balls. But when he was doing that big ball gimmick, I was like, hey, what the heck? No, I'm the girl with testicular fortitude. You can't take that away from me.
Shout out to McFoley.
Yes.
Yes. Are you able to watch now? Do you still keep up with it?
I still do. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like, there's no hard feelings.
No hard feelings. This is great.
No. Yeah. I watch, support my friends. I got to.
If we've learned one thing over the years from pro wrestling, regardless of who's in charge, everyone comes back.
Yeah.
And so no point in burning the bridge. No point in...
No, absolutely not. What I mean? Like, yeah, no.
But what a time for pro wrestlers now, because there was once a time, if WWE doesn't want to be in business with you, you're kind of like SOL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got so many options as far as like major leagues here, overseas, but then you've got these indie promotions that are killing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, Matt Cardona showed you anything, you can make it on your own.
Right.
So
Cody did as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Drew McIntyre.
Exactly.
A ton of people.
Yeah. So I'm taking this indie run very seriously.
All right. When's the next booking? Is it this weekend?
No, it is not this weekend because I'm filming a bunch of stuff this weekend.
You're taking a weekend off already? You just started.
Well, okay, so like that didn't happen on purpose because I wanted everyone to think that I was coming back in July. So no one like hit me up for the month of June. So I think that's why I didn't get any bookings for June. I didn't, I was trying to keep like my first appearances under wraps because I wanted it to be a surprise. So I think my next show was at GCW on the 20th.
Okay.
In Little Rock, Arkansas.
All right. 20th of June or July?
June.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Did you come in just for this?
No. So I wrestled in Atlantic City.
Okay, not
this
too
past
far.
Weekend. Yeah.
You like Atlantic City?
It's okay.
It's
okay.
It's had better days.
For
I don't
sure.
know if it was once, sort of
Right.
the Vegas of the East back in the 80s.
Right. I could see that.
These days, but I wish you the best, really. And your story is inspiring, and it's very easy to root for you. So I hope that you enjoy this run and that you kill it. And I'd say you're off to a great start. You've got the store, right? You've got your own YouTube channel as well.
Yeah. So
I'm getting all the plugs.
Oh,
yes.
and
here's the YouTube channel.
Yes, that's okay. Yeah, I'm grateful that you reminded me of that because I had my friend Andrew, who used to work for WWE for like socials and stuff. I brought him along with me to document my first weekend back on the Indies.
Oh, nice.
So we got a lot of great footage. On top of like working at GCW Deathmatch, I did get to wrestle my OG trainer at Hood Slam. So yeah, a lot of emotional stuff in there.
When's that coming out?
As soon as he is done editing it, hopefully by, the end of the month. So like stay tuned, subscribe.
Okay.
And then I plan on doing a lot more vlogs on my YouTube channel and keeping up with that. So yeah.
Love it. Well, good luck to you. Thank you so much. Wishing you the best. And thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
Great
thank
to
you
meet
for having me.
There she is, Shotzi Blackheart, coming to an indie show near you. We shall be taking a quick break. We'll be back to wrap up the show. Do not go anywhere.
And pre-order my Big Rubber Guy.
Oh, yes, that too.
You have until the end of the month.
BigRubberGuy.com?
Yeah.
Is that
it?
No,
collectmajor.com.
There it is, collectmajor.com. I have one right here. Dusty.
So cool.
And I do believe like that they've only made, I don't know. Oh, does it say here? No. But he told me it was like some sort of limited.
Something like 800 or something like that.
Maybe 50.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just saying that to be cool.
Oh, okay.
But it is cool. It is cool. And it does, there it is. Yes. It reminds me of the LJNs.
Yeah, you only have until the end of this month to order it and then it's donezo.
Okay. There it is. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back right after this. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.